Hey, Queen's Voice, how are you? Back here at the festivities for the Tina Forte opening of our headquarters here. I'm here with a gentleman who wanted to speak with us. Please let the viewers know who you are and what you represent and what you want to talk about, sir.
Well, my name is Gonzalo Duran. I'm the vice chairman for the Bronx County Conservative Party, and I'm also the congressional candidate for District 15. I'm here because Tina opened her doors not just for the conservative, but also the Republican Party in our headquarters. So her bringing us all together shows unification that I believe we need across the borough and the cities so that we can have more conservative Republican in offices. So this is one step that I wouldn't have imagined in my career. And for this to be done, I give a lot of praise to Tina. I can tell you right now, she's won my respect. If it was possible, even my vote at the moment right now.
Wow, so by her opening up her headquarters, as she told us a little earlier when we spoke to her, she's allowing other folks to come in and give people a space that maybe didn't have a space to run their campaign and do their business.
Yes, so, right there, that shows how eager she is to help with the community and not just herself, and it's a more of a cooperative thing. So once again, that's something that you don't see in everyday politics, so I'm very proud to say that she's been endorsed by our party, and I'm a fellow candidate. As she's the 14th, I'm the 15th congressional candidate, so it's a pleasure to be working with her.
All right, so you're running on the 15th congressional.
Yes.
What are the exact areas that your seat covers, and what are the biggest issues that you're looking to fix to the constituency there?
So for me, it's from Riverdale down to Little Italy, like Belmont area of the Bronx, to the right where Hunts Point is. Just like every borough or district, we're all facing issues with housing, employment, safety, and stuff like that. For me specifically, I've been always centric to the community. So I started a program for self-defense for women in the community since the high crime and rate.
Sure.
I'm an honorary member of the Guardian Angels to try to bring more cooperation and the individuals to come out and police their own and stuff like that. And being back in the NYPD so that we can have a more secure and safe neighborhood. So that's just one of many things that I've been working on.
But it seems that there's a common theme, at least on the GOP side citywide, that safety, public safety, crime, and some places have been hit worse than others, but I think everybody in the 5 boroughs has been feeling it, especially in the last 3 years. Is that what you would say in your district? You're feeling it?
So high crime, the Bronx is known for having a high crime area. So right there, that's more section that I've been working on. If I was elected, I can expand in all 3 of those subject matters to the extent that it would benefit the community more. And that's what we need. We need to have more people involved with the community with safety. We have to back our blue. We have to fight the change up the justice system in the currently, the bail reform is just not the right thing for us right now.
Now, when you say fight the current criminal justice system, the bail reform, that's obviously a hot topic. Are the people in those areas that you're running, are they telling you, fix this problem, this is terrible? Obviously everybody watched the news, you commit a horrible crime, even a violent one, and they let you out in a few hours. So are your constituents telling you that's the major issue, fix it?
So that not only are the constituents saying that, but I actually spoke to Mayor Adams. I did an interview with him a couple of weeks ago, or a couple months ago. And the statistics that he gave me was that only a small portion of individuals are committing the crimes. Now, if that small portion is continuously doing it, there's a reason that they need to be stopped. And the justice system, nobody wants to say it out loud, especially the mayor's administration, but I'm saying it right now. We need to stop those individuals that are committing proper crime, because majority of the people, we want to have safe neighborhoods. And, look, you have people behind us, all demographics. Nobody's trying to do anything wrong or bad. You have neighborhoods and houses in this area. But the main thing are those individuals that are committing the crimes. If they know that they can get away with it, they're going to keep on doing it.
So there has to be a consequence.
So it has to be a consequence.
And do you feel it's just, do you feel personally, or your constituents tell you personally, that it's just the bail reform? Or do they have an issue where a lot of the other people in the city with some of these liberal judges who don't want to arrest anybody or hold anybody for any crime?
So it's more of a trifecta type of thing. You have judges. So some people may not know this, but majority of the judges are Democrats.
Correct.
They have no anybody going against them in the Republican or Conservative Party. Unopposed. They're running basically unopposed, and they're just walking into their seats. Then you have the bail reform where it may have had some good ideas, but obviously if there's no justice being done, then it's making it harder and badder. Riker Islands is a different issue in itself that I don't want to talk about right now. But talking to the people knocking on the doors, and this is not my opinion, this is what they told me in a gathering up, is that they believe that the youth don't have anything to do. That's why there's a lot of issues with them going on. So for one other thing that I did to combat that was start a mentorship program. So, doing the crime, the self-defense course, mentorship, working with the police and other organizations like the Guardian Angels, all together bringing in to try to make change.
Okay. And obviously you said the Bronx is unfortunately known a lot of sections for a lot of crime to begin with. In the last 3 years, with all of the illegal aliens coming here, a lot of them are unfortunately criminals and have brought their own gangs here. Are you seeing an uptick in that, in particular in your areas of the Bronx, or is it just limited to the regular residents who are here before, or has it made it worse with the newer ones who are here illegally who brought their own criminal enterprise?
Well, I can't say in my district that I've seen more migrants or illegal aliens or illegal undocumented individuals making those crimes. What I can say is that they've increased the population on where things are getting worse. That's what I can say for sure. I know the people have told me that they are concerned with that many coming in because, where we're housing them, how close we're housing them to houses and resources and stuff like that. That's been more of the conversations that I've had with the community.
Okay. But nonetheless concerned like every other community in the city, unfortunately. What about, if we could just change the subject for a moment, have if anything, your constituents had any issues, or have they addressed the city of Yes with you? That seems to be a very hot topic throughout the 5 boroughs.
Yes. So as the vice chairman for the Bronx Conservative Party, I speak as, I reach out to more people outside my district on that. A lot of people are against the city of Yes. Once again, I spoke to the mayor about this. They told me that a lot of the community boards wanted some ratifications or amendments made to the proposals. I didn't look too much into how much of those were made, but I can tell the people have not been happy with with it. So that percentage, I think, is a little biased, in my opinion. I know for sure District 10 completely said no, and there was two other community boards that wanted like large ratifications on it. With City of Yes coming in, it's going to eliminate the single-family home and middle class right there across the city, not just
parking,
the spark and stuff like that.
sewers.
And no matter how much the city planning does, it's going to completely change. You're going to look what's going to happen right now. You can see what's going to happen in about 10 years by looking at Brooklyn and Queens and their gentrification and what happened with them.
So you feel first it'll hit Brooklyn and Queens first, unfortunately, and then it'll eventually make its way up to the Bronx.
Yeah. And then now the Bronx, and I think this is a great spot to talk about this. The North Bronx has been basically hidden from a lot of the changes, but the South Bronx has done so much that it's in their backyard, and now they're going to have to fight even harder.
So safe to say ground zero is going to be in that area.
It's going to be over here because now you have a house and somebody's going to want to put a apartment in the basement. They're going to want to put a cottage in the back. They're going to change their one-family house to 3-family occupancy. And then, once again, nobody's going to be able to own a single-family home in the Bronx. That's crazy. And it's going to happen to the city once it takes full effect.
So we've been covering this mostly in Queens, but the third component that needs to be passed is going to be voted on before the end of 2024 this year. And most people, the experts that we've spoken to, believe that it's just inevitable they are going to rubber stamp it, unfortunately. And from what we've heard, there are really 2 remedies. And I'm not the expert on it, but at least 2 remedies so far, where one would be elect different people to go back and fix that or adjust it. And the second one would be where sections of a neighborhood almost create their own cooperative community of 2,000 people or more, and that way they can pretty much say, we govern this area, we say no to it. Do you see that also?
So what you just said right there are 2 of the only factors that I can believe, but it's not practical because if we don't change the city council members, if we don't have Republicans and conservatives in that office, there's not going to be no change.
Okay, now, I'm glad you said that because you're very honest about that. So if you heard what the gentleman said, if we don't get conservatives and Republicans elected, there won't be any change. Is it safe to say the problems that we find ourselves in this city and this state, because we're a one-party political system, unfortunately, do the Democrats bear full responsibility or just about full responsibility for everything that's wrong in our city and state?
No, no. I blame. Well, first, first I put accountability on the people. That's their. If you're not happy where the things are going and you keep re-electing the same people, it's your fault. It's your fault.
So he's telling you guys out there, if you're listening, especially in New York City, if you keep electing the same people and you keep complaining and you see things aren't changing, it's your fault.
Yeah.
So they should look in the mirror. The people have been voting for these same
Yeah.
people and the same policies. The voters have to look in the mirror and take some responsibility and say, hey, maybe I should vote for that person instead and take a chance, because the current way is not going well, unfortunately.
And the second thing is, when it comes to office, America is great because we have freedom, but that doesn't, everybody has freedom around, there's a lot of places that have freedom. What we have, what makes us great, is the fact that we have checks and balances. Right now, with the single party taking control, there's no balance, there's no fight back, so unless, like, let's say Christy Mamarao is the first Republican in 40 years to win office in the Bronx as a Republican, first as a female in history for the Bronx. But she's a lion surrounded by hyenas, so she doesn't have any backup. Nobody's helping her. Nobody's collaborating with. So she needs that support from the community. And the third thing is the voting. If if they're not voting to change, then there's nothing going to change.
That's 100% true, no matter where we're talking about. Now, do you see a big turnout coming for this election from the Bronx in general? Do you see people are excited? Are they mobilized? Or are they just like, maybe I'll vote, maybe I won't?
Well, talking with so many people, there's still the same mindset that, why go out and do anything? But we're fortunate that this particular year with Trump, his debate with Biden kicking him off, him, unfortunately almost being assassinated, has brought a lot of attention to conservatism across the country.
Including the Bronx.
Including the Bronx. He was, 2 blocks away from my office, home, and everything in my district. That was one of the most exciting things that I could see.
We could talk about that, because we actually covered the rally here in the Bronx. And you heard people like AOC saying there's going to be nobody there, he's not going to get a good welcome, and there's going to be all these big counter-protests. There were a handful of sporadic protesters, it looked like. Mostly young people that didn't have much to do and just wanted to say F you, which is okay. But there was a tremendous turnout, and most of the people that my team and I personally interviewed and spoke to were actually people from the Bronx. So is it safe to say that despite what you see on the fake news and the mainstream media, Trump does have a lot of support here in the Bronx?
I can say for sure, walking around and talking to people, Trump does have a lot of support. Is it to the fact to make a lot of change? No, because there's a lot of things in place that are supporting individuals in the South Bronx. They have the funding, the media, all pushing that one agenda. Social media as well. And now in the North Bronx, there's a lot more representatives of conservatism, and I can tell you that for a fact because I've, in the last year and a half, I've enlisted over 250 individuals into the Conservative Party on the voter registration, through voter registration cards. So there is a number, but it has to be increased because the people don't realize that they can do a change by doing changing their party and voting.
So you're basically educating your community that you can register to vote or change your party affiliation. It's not such a big process, a big deal. You're helping people do it, and you're finding already 250 people have switched over.
Yeah, and there would have been more. And there would have been more, but when Trump came here, he didn't have like the conservatives or the Republican Party backing him or part of his campaign. It was outside individuals. I blame that on the campaign, not on him. Even one of the media's put a smear campaign on me that he snubbed me for not asking me to come speak at the rally.
So they were trying to start instigating.
And what I said to them was, look, I have no hard feelings on that. My job, him coming down here, changed the dynamics in history for the South Bronx. Having a president, not a former president, and a candidate
most
running.
Most likely the next president again.
And most likely the next president. But with Kamala Harris in place, with Biden, he had a slam dunk. But with Harris, he's going to have to do some support. And I think the best way for him to win is to get more candidates that can reach out to different people and demographics that he can and his campaign can get to.
So that's a good point. And you did say a lot has been accomplished, but there's still more to go.
Yes, there's still more to go. And I believe, it's going to come down to the wire right now. How much we push out. This one thing right here is, if we had this a couple months ago, that would have been better. But now we're going to have to use this and utilize this
As a base.
for all the change that can be made. And Tina, the Bronx, and the GOP, the Bronx GOP, and Conservative Party are trying to make that happen.
Absolutely. And if anybody's out there at the Trump campaign or the president himself are watching, would you think it's a good idea he should come back to the Bronx?
Look, I wrote an article inviting President Trump months ago, and he came. I'm not saying that was the catalyst that did it, but what I'm saying is it manifested. So I'm right here, right now. I'm saying, Mr. Trump, if you come down again, I'm willing to help out in any way that I can with the veterans, with the Conservative Party, helping with the Bronx GOP, and any other way I can.
Well, if anybody's watching, or Mr. Trump himself, you heard it from the gentleman, willing to help out. Anything you'd like to plug? Any events coming up? Any fundraising or volunteer opportunities? How can people help your particular campaign, or website, or events?
So the biggest thing that I would say, you can reach out at Gonzalo Duran NYC. That'd be great. Just to look us up. All my contact information. Social media is Gonzalo Duran NYC, at Gonzalo Duran NYC. The biggest thing I'm going to say on Monday at the Bronx Board of Election at 11 a.m., I'm going to have my 100 signature for this year in voter registration cards. That would be a great opportunity for you guys to represent and show how important conservatism is in the Bronx. So.
All right. Well, listen, folks in New York and abroad, and folks here in the borough of the Bronx, you heard it from the man. Gonzalo, thank you so much for standing with us today and chatting. We wish you the best in your election, and if there's any news that comes up, please reach out to me. We'd love to speak with you again in the future.
Perfect.
Thanks again. Appreciate it.